Hello friends, my name is Monique and I am a professional graphic designer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm really excited to talk to you about what it's like to be a creative professional and run my own studio. Graphic design specifically focuses on communicating a message. Graphic design will either tell you to do something or to make you feel something. There are so many areas of specialty in graphic design that I like to describe it as like a big house. And so you know how a big house has so many different rooms. The bathroom is different from the kitchen, which is different from the bedroom, which is different from the attic. Graphic design is like that. Under this big house is graphic design, but every room is an area of specialization. Here are some examples of graphic design that you probably don't even think about every day. From billboards, to the packaging that you see on your favorite candies, to the hand-drawn elements that you'll see in many different places, to those items that tell you who a company is. The type of graphic design that I do is marketing graphic design, whereas branding, which does logos, focuses on who a company is, their identity, so to speak. I focus on how a company presents itself to their customers. So I like to describe it as a fabulous outfit. I make sure a company is dressed for success. So in marketing design, I do everything from social media graphics to digital signage to newsletters, books, folders, brochures, signage that are like banners. I do posters and environmental signage as well. Because graphic design is done on the computer, I do both digital and print pieces, and I get to work with companies from all over the world. Being the founder of my studio means that I have a lot more control in the work that I do every day, but there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So it's one thing to be a freelancer or to be a designer for a company, but when you have your own business, you have to do all the behind the scenes stuff. I have to make sure I'm managing all of my social media platforms or hiring the right person to do that. I have to do all of my accounting, paying my bills, making sure I get paid by the clients. I work with attorneys to make sure that I have the right contracts in place and I'm doing everything that's best for my business. I spend a lot of time researching the right software and programs that are going to deliver the type of high quality product that I want my studio to deliver. I wanted to share with you my workspace so that you can see that you don't need a lot of space as long as you have really big screens so that you can zoom in and see the detail of your work, and some space somewhere even on the floor to spread out, do your sketching, look at paper samples. I mean, the possibilities are endless even in a small space. You really don't have to have a lot to be a great graphic designer. Okay, so let's dive into a little bit of the fun that I get to have every day. I do get to play a lot with color. A lot of times a company will have its own colors, but there are opportunities for me to explore and find different palettes that may make it look a little better. So I have different systems that I use where I can enter in a number of a color and I can generate different palettes that may work best for a particular project. I also have different programs that I use to explore different fonts. You know, the font selection is the actual voice of the project. So I can do fun things like type in anything that I'm working on, say United to Learn is awesome, and see what it's going to look like in different fonts. I mean, there are so many, there are over 160 pages for me to sift through in this particular project. Part of my job as a graphic designer is also mentoring. Just like your teacher helps you to learn and explore and understand so many cool things, I do the same thing for graphic designers. I help them improve their work and fine-tune their skills that they have. Okay, the most exciting part of my job is picking out paper. So I mentioned that I am a designer that does both digital and print work, but print is my heart. I love textures and patterns and different prints, and so I spend a good chunk of time evaluating what's going to work best for a project. Every project is unique and different. There's so many different types of paper, not just color, but thickness, the texture, and the print on it will be very different from one piece of paper to the next. I have a very close relationship with print vendors, and I will go visit their warehouses and actually see the production and process and learn about the techniques that are going to work best for every project. Going to college is the best way to get the foundation that you need to be a successful graphic designer. I have a master's degree, but I also have a lot of real-world work experience, which is also what you need as well. You need to see projects live in action. You need to learn how to work on a team, and you need to see how much communication is actually involved and how much back and forth there is in a project on a day-to-day basis. Since we are primarily at home these days, a very fun way to introduce yourself to graphic design will be to look around your house at the different fonts, the different colors, different types of packaging that you have around. For example, I like these cashew cookie date bars. You know, from the font and the colors, it's kind of earthy. You know, it makes me feel like I'm eating healthy. Although I also love these treats from London. These are actually shortbread cookies. You can see how they're both kind of a sweet treat, but the packaging is very different and the font's very different. Why do you think that is? Do they want to come across as more fancy? This is not something that you just throw in your bag and go on a road trip with. Maybe this is more adventurous. Which one do you think you would take on a hiking trip just based off of the font and the packaging? The colors are kind of similar. So that's something that will get you to start thinking critically about graphic design and why a brand may choose to go one route versus another route. I encourage you to take as many pictures as you can and write down everything that you see and show your family and friends what you're learning about graphic design. You may even have a conversation with them to see if they get the same message. Maybe you think something is fancy yet fun and they think it's more serious, and you can have a conversation as to why. Maybe think why a brand would choose a certain color or a certain font. And you can show me all of the cool things that you're finding at home. I'd love to see it. You can tag me on social media or use the hashtag GDIRL. It's something that I check all the time, something that I came up with a few years ago. So go explore and have fun, guys.